Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight, it was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on, the slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm going to burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. What the slump yesterday is. The slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you yet again, right away, basically. Bettor Off Dead, Saturday morning, August 30th. If you're looking for college football, you can check out the college football show. I do those as separate shows for college football and NFL. The week 1 video I did late last night, that is up on the channel. It's on the audio platforms as well. You can go check that out. Thank you guys for hanging out late night degenerate hours there. If you want my college football plays, they are Texas +3, although Texas, that line is definitely gone now. I still like them to win the game, so I guess do with that information what you will. South Dakota going FCS against FBS, +16. Hopefully your books have a number on that game because I like that play. Clemson -3.5, although I think you have to lay 4 now. I know these week 1 lines are moving, man. And then tomorrow night, Miami, Florida, +3, which... I'll talk about that again tomorrow probably, but this show is going to be mostly baseball. I'm going to have 4 baseball plays today. So we have a loaded card, man. This is what happens with football, with baseball overlapping. I could have upwards of, even 10 plays in a given day, depending on what's going on. Today's going to be, I believe, 7 maybe. Curtis, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Yesterday did not go well. It was 1-2, and it really should have been 2-1. Is that Blue Jays Brewers under is going to irritate me for a long time. Again, that game was 0-0 into the 6th inning, and it did not go under as the bullpens imploded. Mostly Toronto's bullpen, I believe, imploded. Gave up 5 runs, I believe, in the top of the 6th. It's top of the 6th, I think. And then it was just downhill from there. So that wound up not going under. And the first 5 inning under was an easy winner. So that made it even more irritating because the starting pitching matchup I got completely correct. We lost badly on the under in Miami and Mets. Tong actually pitched well for the Mets. All but one of the runs he allowed were unearned. So there were bad fielding behind Tong there. He's going to throw himself out, though. If you watch that guy pitch, he looks exactly like Tim Lincecum. And he's as small as him. It's insane. He has his leg up in the air on his follow through, and he's going to wreck his back, dude. Like Lincecum, the reason why his career was so short was because his windup was way too volatile. It's going to happen to him, too. That game, Yuri Perez just ended our game right away. He didn't even make it out of the first inning. Just absolutely shocking. And then we did get the under right in the Skeens-Tolley game. Unfortunately, the Red Sox wound up on the wrong side of it, mostly because the bullpen didn't hold it. After Tolley did his job and got them into the 6th inning in his Major League debut, he pitched well. Red Sox did have a 2-0 lead early in that game against Paul Skeens. Roman Anthony actually homered off of him, but Red Sox wound up losing that game, so I'm not happy about that. But we'll get into today's card. We do have WNBA, of course, which I do have one maybe slight lean here, but I'm not totally interested in these games either. I know I apologize to, what was his name, Alex, that came in yesterday and wanted more WNBA. I gotta see a spot that I really like in the WNBA, man, especially since it's a sport I don't really pay that much attention to. I know I've been winning in it, but WNBA, we have the best team in the league against the worst team in the league. That's a great game. Minnesota against Connecticut. Connecticut actually doesn't have the worst record anymore. Chicago does, at least in the East. Connecticut just beat Dallas. Dallas actually might have a worse record than Connecticut too. But Connecticut's returning home from a road trip, man. You know, I talk about returning home from road trips, kind of a distraction. You have to get back to family life. Maybe you won't be totally distracted when you're facing Minnesota, who are the best team in the league. Minnesota, they just lost to Seattle at home, so they might be feeling a little bit angry. They might want to get a win, bounce back from that. I mean, their padding in the West is starting to slip a little bit. They got to make sure they hang on to that 1 seed there. So maybe it would be a spot where Minnesota would actually potentially show up, but it is still against such a bad team. You have to lay so many points with Minnesota. They're down from 14 to 13.5. I don't even know which way I would lean in that game, man. I mean, it's a mess. Washington at Golden State. Golden State returning home from a quick road trip where they just only went to Phoenix and Dallas. Playing Washington. Golden State has more motivation here, though, because they're above 500, so they still have a shot at the playoffs. Washington basically has played themselves out of the playoffs with 5 straight losses, so they're pretty much done at this point. They have to go from New York cross-country to Golden State now, too, so I think it's probably a more motivational spot for Golden State, but they're down from 6 to 5. They would probably be my lean just because I think Washington is out of it, but I don't love either side there either. Probably the strongest lean that I have would be to grab the points with Chicago. I know Chicago was my last play that I gave out in the WNBA, and it was a win as a huge underdog. They might do it here because Seattle, they're in a bad spot, dude. They're returning home from a 5-game road trip, and they finished the road trip. It was only a 1-loss road trip. They finished it by beating Minnesota. Huge win on the road against the best team in the WNBA. Now they're returning home, which could be a distraction spot. Chicago, absolutely not really a team that's absolutely not a team that's going to draw your focus. And Seattle does have LA up next, even though LA is kind of out of it. LA is still close behind them, so Seattle might actually show up more in that LA game than this Chicago game here. That is possible. So it's definitely a bad spot for them. The problem I have with this is that Chicago is also in a bad spot. They just had a really close game as a road underdog against Phoenix, and now they're going to have to do that again. I don't know if I trust them, man. And actually the game before that against Vegas, they did that too. So they played 2 close games already against good teams. Like, are they going to be able to do that 3 games in a row? I worry about that a little bit. So even though I lean to Chicago, I think I just can't really give it out as a play, man, just because you're asking a bad Chicago team to put up that kind of effort 3 straight games. Seattle down from 12 to 11. Seattle does at least need to keep winning to make sure that they make the playoffs, so they don't need to win by margin, obviously. So lean to Chicago, probably the best lean that we have here. And then Phoenix against New York is probably the only good game, good by WNBA standards. Phoenix has won 5 of their last 6 games. They just had that close game against Chicago. Maybe they were looking ahead to this New York game. It's a much bigger game, obviously. So they just scraped by Chicago. Easy, pretty much an easy game for them. Although they probably thought it was going to be easier. But after a game like that, usually a team shows up more focused if they almost lose to a really bad team. The Liberty are starting a road trip. I think they should be focused too. I mean, they're still locked in a battle here to try to advance their seeding. So I think both teams should show up here, even if it is maybe a slightly better spot for Phoenix. I would have a slight lean to Phoenix, up from 1.5 to 2. So the money is coming in on that side. So I do agree with the money move on Chicago and Phoenix, but I'm not going to give out a play on either of those. Hubert, Rick, whatever your name is, what's up? What's up, everybody? All right, let's go to MLB here. The thing that I know more about. I'm going to skip Milwaukee, Toronto. As you can see in the title, I got to play on that game. Tampa at Washington. Washington lost again yesterday. Washington has lost 5 games in a row. No, 6 games in a row. My stroke brain puts me off by 1 again. Yes, it is ridiculous. You can make money on it, though. It's just you got to pick your spots, and I haven't seen one that I love for a while now. Washington, they were in a return home spot yesterday, so I said it was a bad spot. Maybe that's part of the reason why they lost that game is because they were returning home from a road trip. They're not the better team, though. I mean, Washington's a terrible team. Tampa Bay is at least decent, and they're in a really difficult division. Washington has one of the worst bullpens in baseball. They used 4 relievers yesterday. Not huge usage from a couple of them, though. Tampa actually used 4 and used them more. But I still probably give the bullpen edge to Tampa, even though their bullpen rest is less, because their bullpen is just that much better than Washington's. Tampa has the better offense as well, and Washington just sucks, dude. Tampa has the better starting pitcher as well, with Ryan Pepio, who's got a 3.82 ERA, 1.16 whip. He is worse on the road, though, 4.5 ERA on the road. Weird that he actually pitches really well in Steinbrenner Field at home, which is a hitter-friendly ballpark. Pepio's been pretty good this month, 3.97 ERA, 21-7 strikeout walk ratio. He's coming off a 5-inning, 1-hit shutout against St. Louis, although they took him out after 63 pitches, so he may be on a little bit of a pitch count right now as we come towards the end of the season, and there's nothing really for Tampa to play for here. These teams don't really have anything to play for. Washington, they have almost no experience against Pepio, believe it or not. Only Bell has ever seen him before, and he's 3 for 13 off him. Does have a triple against him and 1 strikeout, but Pepio, pretty much an unknown to Washington, so that should be an advantage to Pepio, because when hitters haven't seen a guy before, they have to take some time to adjust to what he's going to throw at them. Jake Irvin is pitching for Washington. He's not very good, 5.4 ERA, 1.43 whip. He's been a little bit better at home, though, 5.08 ERA at home. He's not been good at all this month, though. This month has been a disaster. Washington's lost 4 of his 5 starts. Even in the game that they won, he gave up 6 runs against Kansas City and walked 4 guys. Awful. 9.55 ERA this month, 13-11 strikeout walk ratio. Yes, he faced some good offenses in here, Milwaukee, Mets, Philly, but Irvin is just completely out of form right now. He's awful right now. The one thing that may be in his favor is that Tampa only has 4 hitters who have ever seen him before. Tampa, by the way, has 2 of the lows, Brandon and Josh, and they do not have Nathaniel, who's on the Red Sox. Oh, man. Irvin, Tampa's only 1 for 10 off him lifetime. With Brandon Lowe does have a home run off him. But other than that, he's pretty much kept them in check. 2 walks, 1 strikeout, though. But that's such a small sample size. I think I'm going to put more weight into the fact that Irvin has been pitching terribly recently. So even though it should be a spot where when a team comes back from a road trip and they don't do well, they tend to refocus and do better in the next game. But I don't think that's going to be the case here. Both of these teams are out of it. I lean to Tampa in this game. They're up from minus 145 to minus 150. 78% of tickets, 93% of the cash on them. I mean, like I said, I think they have the advantage in every aspect of this game. But you're having to lay a road favorite price on a mediocre team. So if you want to do that, I mean, they should win the game, but of course there is the possibility they don't. The money's also coming in the under in that game, which, I mean, I guess the argument for that would be Irvin has good matchup numbers against Tampa, and they're not very familiar with them. 94% of tickets on the over, 60% of the cash on the under. Total's already gone through the key number of 9, down to 8.5, so some legitimate movement on the under, but I don't trust an under with Irvin. I certainly don't trust an under with the Washington bullpen either. If I was going to do it at all, it would be first 5 innings, but I don't like that idea either. Miami at the Mets. This game, of course, was a disaster yesterday for us. 19-9 was the final with the Mets winning. Just thanks a lot, Yuri Perez. You owe me money, bro. Scott, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, WNBA, funny to watch. That's true. Not since the dildos have stopped being thrown, though. I don't know why the dildos have stopped. People, they got to just sneak them in their buttholes, man. That's the obvious way. The Mets used 3 relief pitchers yesterday. They do have the better bullpen over Miami. Miami also used 3, but they used kind of longer relief guys because the game was over. So, like, both teams have a lot of their better relievers available today. I do kind of prefer Miami's starting pitcher in this one. The Mets have the better offense, obviously. But Edward Cabrera is pitching for the Marlins. He's been pretty good this year. 3.32 ERA, 1.18 whip. Worst on the road, 3.93 ERA on the road, but he's been really good this month. 40-8 strikeout walk ratio, 3.23 ERA. He had a couple of games where he stumbled a bit, but he bounced back with a 1-hit, 7-inning shutout with 10 strikeouts against Atlanta. So really good start in his last outing. His numbers against the Mets are not horrible. And, well, they're okay, I guess. Some of these numbers are actually not great. In 74 at-bats, he's held him to a 230 average, which is really good. 793 OPS is a little high, though, and it's a lot because he's allowed 19 walks to them compared to 14 strikeouts. So his strikeout-walk ratio is a little bit of a red flag there. He's allowed 4 home runs to them, but 3 of them are Alonso. And Alonso, those are his only 3 hits. He's 3 for 14 off him. So I'm not as worried about that, but the walk number is a bit concerning. Although Cabrera is in pretty good form right now. David Peterson is pitching for the Mets. He's having a good season. A guy I keep saying I don't think he can keep doing this because he still puts too many guys on base. 3.18 ERA, 1.25 whip. So his whip indicates his ERA should probably be higher. He does have a 2.93 ERA at home. He's been good at home. Hasn't been as good this month, though. A 4.66 ERA this month. The Mets have lost 4 out of 5 of his starts this month. Does have a really high strikeout rate, which is kind of unlike Peterson. He's not really a strikeout guy, but he's got 34 strikeouts this month, but he also has 14 walks, which is a lot. He is walking too many guys. He's walked 10 guys over his last 3 starts, although both high walk outings were against Atlanta, which is strange, I guess. I don't know. Atlanta just draws a lot of walks against him for whatever reason. His numbers are not terrific against Miami in 32 at-bats. 12-4 strikeout walk ratio is fine, but he's allowed 3 home runs to 3 different batters. 250 average is pretty low, but a 958 OPS is high. So Peterson, I mean, kind of similar to Cabrera in a way. Their numbers are a little bit questionable there. The Mets have more motivation here because they're trying to make the playoffs. But Miami is trying to play spoiler here. I mean, Miami, they'll show up for a game against the Mets, especially after they lost embarrassingly 19-9 yesterday. The money is coming in on Miami. It's down from minus 185 to minus 161 on the Mets. 87% of tickets, only 64% of the cash on them. So that is the market read. I don't disagree with it. I like Cabrera more than Peterson, so I would lean to Miami, but I would do it in the first 5 innings because I don't trust their bullpen. So probably Miami money line first 5 innings at a solid underdog price, or maybe even the run line probably makes sense. The money in this game is also on the under. 74% of tickets on the over, 64% of the cash on the under. That I probably do not agree with, even though I know yesterday was just incredibly high scoring. So the public is only going to want to play this over, but I don't think I would trust the under, man. Just Cabrera's walk numbers. I mean, these guys, their matchup numbers don't look that elite to me. So, I worry about the under in that game, man. But I think Miami is a stronger lean in that game in the first 5 innings. What's up, Andrew? Yeah, Alanis. Dude, I like Alanis, man. I saw her live in 2021 on the Jagged Little Pill tour. She did every song off of that album, although not in sequence. It was a really, really good show. She was really good. And it was with Garbage and Cat Power. It was a blast from the past, man. Garbage actually still sounded pretty good, too, even though Shirley Manson is a heavy woman now, not hot like she used to be, although still would probably. And Cat Power is actually really good, too. She puts on a good live show. Charles, what's up, man? But yeah, Alanis, dude, she still has a ton of energy. She's a tiny chick, and if you haven't seen her live, I think she has some autistic thing where she constantly is walking back and forth across the stage. That's how she does it. So it's actually hard to get pictures of her because she's always moving. It's how she keeps in shape, man. And she does play guitar a little bit as well, and I think she played piano at one point during the show too. Atlanta, Philadelphia, I'm going to have a play on this game, too. This is a nice pitching matchup in that game today, so I'll skip that. Oh, whoops, I jumped over my own Boston Red Sox. Yeah, we'll talk about this one. She is Canadian, yeah. Well, she wrote an entire song about, breaking up with Dave Coulier, so, and for anybody to be dating Dave Coulier, you probably have to be a bit autistic, although I like Dave Coulier, man. I mean, he's a funny dude. What do you want? Just the kind of the old school prop comic vibe there. He's Joey. Pirates, Red Sox. Red Sox, unfortunately, took the loss yesterday. We did get the under right in that game. The Red Sox have the better offense here. They have the better bullpen. They have something to play for as they're trying to make the playoffs, potentially vying for the division here. The Red Sox use 5 relief pitchers yesterday, though, so that's not great. So their bullpen situation is not exactly excellent right now, although Chapman hasn't pitched the last couple of days, so he's available. But Red Sox are going to have to get something out of their starting pitching today, and I don't know if they necessarily will. Pittsburgh used 3 relief pitchers yesterday, but the Red Sox still have the better bullpen, even though the rest scenario isn't really completely in their favor. The starting pitching matchup, it's hard to even gauge this, man. Johan Oviedo is pitching for the Pirates. He's pretty much he's pretty much an unknown, man. He's a huge dude, by the way, 6'6", 275, kind of like Peyton Tolley on the mound yesterday. Oviedo's massive. He's got a 3.6 ERA, 1.2 whip. So his numbers are actually good. He's better on the road, 2.25 ERA. This is all in a very small sample size, though. He's only made 3 appearances. He's only gone 5 innings once. Although his numbers are pretty good, 14-5 strikeout walk ratio. In his 2 longer outings, he gave up 2 earned runs across 9 innings, only 5 hits, and had an 11-2 strikeout walk ratio against Toronto, which is pretty impressive. And then St. Louis, who hasn't been hitting that well. But Oviedo is actually pitching well. He's been in the league since 2020, though, and his overall numbers are not very good on his career. So I don't know if this is just kind of a little bit of a flash in the pan here. The Red Sox do have 4 hitters who have faced him before. 273 average, 909 OPS off him. Masa Yoshida has a home run off him, so I don't know when that would have been. But Red Sox have a little bit of familiarity with them. Still, Oviedo, he's in good form right now, so it's possible he pitches well here. Dustin May is pitching for the Red Sox. The Dodger acquisition for the Red Sox that they've actually kept for now because the Red Sox cut Buehler. Dustin May not having a great season, 4.79 ERA, 1.38 whip. He's been better at home, 3.24 ERA at home, but that was mostly with the Dodgers. His last home outing with the Red Sox was good, though, against Baltimore. He went 6 innings, held them to 2 earned runs. Baltimore's a weak offense, but so is Pittsburgh. Last outing for May was rough. He gave up 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, 3 walks at Yankee Stadium in 4 1/3, but that is the Yankees. This is a big-time step down to face Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, very atrocious offense. They only have 12 at-bats against May, so they haven't really seen him much. Only 4 of their hitters have seen him. They're 2 for 12 with no extra base hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. That's a 167 average and 452 OPS. So May does have good numbers against them. To me, it kind of seems like another under type of game here to me, man, even though the total is high at 9, 81% or 82% of the tickets now on the over, only 73% of the cash on the over. Maybe you take the bullpens out of the equation because Pittsburgh's isn't that great. Red Sox is a little bit used up. I could see an under first 5 in this game as well. And you don't know how long Oviedo is going to last in this game. May is at least the more established starter. You know that he can get deeper into games than Oviedo can right now. The Red Sox down from -175 to -163. 84% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on them. So the Red Sox obviously will be a public side. The money line's a little bit high, although it seems kind of low, man. I actually expected the Red Sox to be maybe like -190 in this game. It's May getting a lot of disrespect, or maybe Oviedo actually getting some respect. I don't know. Hopefully the Red Sox do win because they're a home favorite and they got to bounce back from yesterday and they're still in the playoff mix here and they're behind the Yankees again. But we'll see. Like I said, Atlanta-Philly will be a play for me, so I'll skip that for now. St. Louis-Cincinnati, I also have a play in that one. Anaheim at Houston. Houston got the win yesterday. They've won 3 games in a row. Shutout of Anaheim yesterday, 2-0. Houston, their offense still kind of struggling. Probably Anaheim. You actually have to give Anaheim a little bit of an offensive edge over Houston, the way Houston has been playing offensively, although Houston has a way better bullpen. I'm actually wondering, Houston's at 13th in OPS now, and Anaheim is down to 20th, so I guess technically Houston's offense is still the better offense, but it doesn't seem that way. They are still a better overall team, though. Anaheim actually has a pretty rested bullpen right now, though. Houston did only use 3 relievers yesterday, too, although Houston has so many bullpen injuries that I don't even know exactly who rounds out their bullpen. We're about to get to September call-ups, so we're going to have expanded bullpen soon. Starting pitching in this game, well, first of all, Houston obviously has a little bit more to play for here because they're still trying to win their division. They're probably going to make the playoffs. Anaheim, they'll still show up motivated, though, because, of course, it's a divisional matchup. They'll want to spoil the party for Houston. Anaheim, again, as I keep pointing out, is nowhere near as good as even the record looks, and the record is still not good. Anaheim is really not a good team. They've been overperforming. Sorry, Andrew. Kyle Hendricks is pitching for Anaheim. He is not the best pitcher. Kind of an aging journeyman here. 5.04 ERA, 1.32 whip. He's been worse on the road. 5.43 ERA on the road. Not good stuff this month from him. 6.46 ERA. 17 to 11 strikeout walk ratio. Giving up 4 earned runs or more in his last 3 outings. 3 walks apiece in each of them. Granted, it was against the Dodgers, Cincinnati, and the Cubs. All of those were at home, where he actually tends to pitch a little bit better. So even though those are offenses that can definitely do damage, that's still not a good sign. Up against Houston, his numbers are bad. In 60 at-bats, 317 average, 929 OPS allowed, 8-6 strikeout walk ratio, not good either. So his numbers against Houston historically not good. Houston, their starter here is a big-time question mark, man. Spencer Arrighetti, who has shown glimpses of being a good pitcher. He's still young, but he is not having a good season here. He hasn't pitched that much this season because he came back from injury. 6.21 ERA, though, 1.52 whip. Very, very bad whip. Can't put 1.5 guys on base in inning, man. I can't do it. He's been good at home, though. 2.45 ERA at home, so his home road splits are in his favor. Houston has not won any of his starts since he came back from injury. All 4 losses this month. 6.52 ERA this month and 15 to 10 strikeout walk ratio. That's all bad. Although his best outing of the month was basically his most recent outing. It was against Baltimore. Not a good offense, but he went 5 2/3 on the road, actually, at Baltimore. Gave up 2 earned runs in that start. So that was a good start from him. 2 strikeouts, not a high strikeout rate, but no walks at least. So he did at least do better. So maybe he is kind of improving a little bit just based on that. His numbers aren't good against Anaheim, but it's a very small 10 at-bat sample size. They only have 4 hitters who've ever faced him before. Nito does have a home run off him. He's allowed a 300 average and 1,000 OPS to them. So his numbers aren't good, but it is a small sample size. So, I mean, I probably would kind of have to lean to Houston in this game. They are taking the money, even though they're down from -160 to -155. 62% of tickets, 95% of the cash coming in on Houston. So they are getting the money. I think Arrighetti, I mean, he has way more room for improvement, whereas Hendricks, you just know exactly what he is, and he's not that good. Arrighetti is at least better than his numbers look. But it's possible that the way to play this, though, is actually an over. And yesterday was ridiculously low scoring, too. The total's gone up to 9, juiced to the over here. It's headed towards 10, which is a ridiculous total for a game at Houston. 94% of tickets, 98% of cash coming in on the over. I mean, you get the benefit of Anaheim's bullpen not being good. Houston's bullpen is kind of injured right now. Both starting pitchers could potentially not do well there, so I would actually maybe even say an over is actually the best way to look at that game, although I do have a slight lean to Houston as well. Yankees, White Sox, I'm going to give out a play on that game as well. I'll skip it for now. San Diego at Minnesota. Minnesota actually got the win yesterday despite returning home from a road trip. San Diego, they're really not good on the road, man. Because San Diego, they still have something to play for. They're trying to win the NL West, trying to ensure that they make the playoffs. Minnesota basically unloaded their team at the All-Star break, so all they really have to play for is getting some wins against some good teams. Crazy that they won yesterday. San Diego obviously has the better bullpen here. Minnesota didn't use as much of their bullpen really yesterday, though. San Diego, the guys they did use out of their bullpen yesterday, they used quite heavily, although San Diego has a lot of good arms in that bullpen, though. They're a really good bullpen. So they still have the bullpen edge here. As far as the hitting, neither of these teams are very good offensively. And Minnesota actually has a higher OPS this season than San Diego, although it's really close. San Diego probably has more potential in their offense. And Minnesota, because they traded guys like Correa away. Maybe you do tip the offensive edge a little bit to San Diego, but it's close. San Diego does have the better starter with Nick Pivetta here. 2.82 ERA, 0.94 whip. I mean, that's elite, but he's doing a lot of that at home in their pitcher-friendly ballpark. He hasn't been as good on the road. 3.43 ERA on the road. Still good, but not as good. This month he's been good, 2.84 ERA, 30-9 strikeout walk ratio. So again, he's still in good form. His last couple of starts, he's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 3 starts in a row. 2 of them against San Francisco, though, a bad offense, but the other one against the Dodgers, a good offense. Minnesota is a bad offense, and they don't have that much experience against them. They've only seen Pivetta 15 at-bats worth. Only 5 of their hitters have faced him, which seems kind of strange because he was in the American League with the Red Sox, but whatever. They only have 15 at-bats against him. He's held him to a 200 average, 600 OPS, 5.3 strikeout walk ratio is not great, but overall, I do think Pivetta probably will come out and handle Minnesota here, would be my opinion. I think he will pitch well. Taj Bradley is pitching for Minnesota. Not having a good season, 4.95 ERA, 1.32 whip. He's still pretty young, 24, so he does have the potential to maybe get better. But he's been bad at home, 5.43 ERA. However, that was all with Tampa Bay. And you know Tampa Bay plays in that spring training stadium, which is a very hitter-friendly stadium. So we don't know what his numbers are going to look like pitching at home from Minnesota yet. But his first start with Minnesota was horrendous. It was against the White Sox on the road. Very weak offense. And he gave up 7 earned runs in 5 innings in that game. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 9 hits allowed. Very bad outing from him. So Bradley, I don't think we could trust him at all in this matchup. And his numbers against San Diego are bad, even though only 5 of their hitters have faced him before. In 31 at-bats, they have a 452 average, 1,242 OPS, 2-3 strikeout walk ratio, and home runs from Machado and O'Hearn. So Bradley could get absolutely wiped in this game, man. So San Diego, they do have the pitching edge across the board here. But ridiculously, the money is coming in on Minnesota. I can't figure that one out. It seems to me like San Diego has the advantage across the board here. I know that some of it has to do with the fact that they're a road favorite, and I know they're bad on the road. So I think maybe the money is kind of saying, well, just the price isn't justified, but I don't really see San Diego losing this game, especially after losing yesterday. Because that like kind of gives you extra motivation, you know, when you lose a game like that to a bad team. San Diego down from -155 to -147, 93% of tickets on them, 54% of the cash coming in on Minnesota, though. So strong market read on the Minnesota side. I don't really see it. Seattle, Cleveland, this almost made my card. This was almost a 5th baseball play for me on the under in this game in Seattle, Cleveland. I like the under in this one. Both bullpens are very well rested, so that's part of the reason why. Seattle was off on Thursday, and then they only used 2 pitchers yesterday. Cleveland also was off on Thursday and also only used 2 pitchers yesterday. So we have a ton of bullpen rest in this game. Cleveland somehow remains 4th in bullpen ERA. Seattle is not that much worse at 11th. So we have good bullpens, rested bullpens. Cleveland is a very bad offense. Seattle's offense is obviously the better one. Seattle does have more motivation here because they're trying to make the playoffs. They're still fighting for their division. Cleveland, pretty much nothing left to play for here. Cleveland did win yesterday 5-4, though. They have won 3 games in a row. Seattle may show up with more intensity because of that, though. Logan Gilbert is pitching for Seattle here. He's got good numbers, 3.69 ERA, 1.03 whip, but he's way worse on the road, 6 ERA on the road. So that's part of the reason why I'm hesitant a little bit to go under in this game. His numbers on the road are just very, very bad. But Cleveland is such a bad offense. I do think he's going to do well anyway. He's in good form this month. 33-6 strikeout walk ratio. Although his ERA is bad, 4.62, but that's because of 1 start where he got lit up at Philadelphia. Although that was a road start. They got him for 6 runs in 2 innings. But other than that, he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all 4 of his other starts this month. He got 13 strikeouts last time out in a 6-inning, 1-run performance against the A's. That was a really good performance. His strikeout rate being really high indicates that he is in command right now. His numbers against Cleveland are decent, and they haven't really seen him much. Cleveland only has 3 hitters who have seen him before. 28 at-bats. They have 6 strikeouts, no walks. Ramirez does have 1 home run off him. They have a 286 average, which is pretty high, but 714 OPS, not that high. So I do think Gilbert will do well in this specific matchup, even though he's not good on the road typically. He's up against Gavin Williams, who does have a 3.36 ERA for Cleveland. That's good, although his whip is too high. 1.32 whip is not good. He's a little bit better at home, 3.18 ERA at home. But the thing that worries me about Williams is that his recent form has been bad. He's basically started alternating good and bad starts, and since he took that no-hitter into the final out against the Mets and wound up giving up a home run, and he was that close to having a no-hitter, he had a really bad start the next time out because he threw 126 pitches in the game against the Mets. I think that wore him down. He was hungover, had a really bad start against Miami. The next time out, he bounced back with a nice shutout on the road. So his better starts recently, he actually came on the road for whatever reason. At Arizona, shut them out for 5 1/3, but his most recent start was terrible. At Texas, Texas is not a good offense. Gave up 3 earned runs, walked 4 guys, only lasted 3 1/3. Very inefficient pitch-wise, 90 pitches. So I can't say he's in good form right now, even though he has a 2.73 ERA this month. 26-12 strikeout walk ratio, not good. That's too many walks. Again, his problem really is the walks. So I don't know if we could really trust him just because his recent form isn't good. His numbers against Seattle are good. They only have 5 hits and 30 at-bats against him. Rayleigh does have a home run, but 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 167 average allowed and 519 OPS allowed to Seattle for Williams. But I do lean to the under in this game anyway. Rested bullpens are a big part of it. The total is already getting really low. It flipped from 7.5 juice to the over to 7.5 juice to the under. So it is a very low total. 71% of tickets are on the over and 91% of the cash on the under. So it's a huge pros versus Joes market read here too. So the pros appear to be taking the under in this game. Again, I do agree with it. If you want to go under, you got to get the 7.5, man. I would say try to get the best of the number 7. I guess you could still go under 7 if you really have to. Definitely don't go under 6.5, though. 7, very key number. Seattle is down from -145 to -133 on the money line. 64% of tickets, 90% of the cash on Seattle. So the money seems to actually be coming in on Seattle, even though they initially dropped on the money line. So Gilbert, I suppose Gilbert is the more trustworthy pitcher. Just his strikeout walk numbers are way better than Williams's. So take all that into account, I guess. But I think the way to play that game is the under. The bullpen, the first thing I saw was the bullpen rest scenario. I was like, man, that looks good for an under. Detroit is at Kansas City, so Zach is going to pop up here. Charles, what's up, man? T-Bone, that's right. Wait, I already said what's up, didn't I? Because I pointed out the autistic Canadian thing. Kansas City returned home from a road trip and lost yesterday. Again, it's a road trip return spot. Not the greatest spot for Kansas City, although Kansas City's not going to overlook Detroit. Kansas City's still trying to make the playoffs too, so they will show up here. Detroit should show up as well because they're trying to ensure their playoff spot. Probably want to make sure that Kansas City is in their rearview mirror. But in this situation, man, I think Kansas City could be in a little bit of a bounce back spot because they lost yesterday in the return home spot. They have a little bit more motivation than Detroit probably does. Kansas City will be a home underdog in this game. Yes, the big advantage Detroit has is that their offense is the better offense. Kansas City's is not good. Kansas City has the better bullpen, although they used 4 relief pitchers, but so did Detroit. So Kansas City does have the better bullpen. Starting pitching is interesting because you look at this on the surface, and it looks like you want to lean to Detroit because they have the more established starter in Jack Flaherty, but he's not really having a great season. 4.87 ERA, 1.3 whip. That's not very good. He's actually been really bad on the road, 6.08 ERA on the road. You'd think, but it's Kansas City, pitcher-friendly ballpark. Kansas City, they can't hit, so he should do better against Kansas City, right? Well, his last start was against Kansas City, and he only went 5 innings, and he allowed 8 earned runs on 10 hits in that outing. So you think he's good against Kansas City? He's not. He has a 6.33 ERA this month. Detroit's lost 4 of his 5 starts, and it's not like he's facing good offenses here either. He had a good start against Philadelphia, and then his bad starts are against Minnesota, the White Sox, and Kansas City. So these weak offenses in his own division, he's bad against all of them. Makes no sense, but yeah, I mean, it seems to be a trend. He does have a 28-6 strikeout walk ratio this month, so that is good, but these bad offenses in his division are wrecking him, man. In his last outing in July against a bad offense, Pittsburgh, he did badly in that start too. It's like it messes with his head or something. Against Kansas City, his numbers aren't good. Like I said, in 66 at-bats, 288 average allowed, 762 OPS, so Flaherty, not good against Kansas City, although 12-5 strikeout walk ratio is okay. He's going up against Steven Kolek, who doesn't have good numbers this year, 4.18 ERA, 1.31 whip. He was on San Diego this entire time. He's been really difficult to figure out, man, because San Diego has a pitcher-friendly park, but he had a 9.45 ERA there. And now he's going from San Diego to another pitcher-friendly park at Kansas City. Does that mean he's going to also be really bad at home in Kansas City? I mean, it just makes no sense. I don't know, man, but he got traded at the trade deadline. He hasn't pitched in the majors since July. Let me actually look real quickly. I'm going to look real quickly at his minor league numbers here because I didn't look because I wasn't going to play this game. Kolek in the minors this year. Let me see because I think that's where he was in the meantime here. AAA, where are we at here? I'm looking real quick. In AAA, he was actually bad at AAA Omaha. He had a 6.63 ERA and 2.11 whip and 357 batting average allowed in 19 innings. I don't know if that was where he was most recently, but that's not a good sign. Kolek, terrible in AAA, although Detroit's never faced him before. So does that mean he's going to have a little bit of the mystery edge there, the fact that they haven't seen him before? I mean, maybe. His overall numbers really aren't that horrific this year. Because of the unfamiliarity, because Flaherty is just so bad against Kansas City, and they just saw him, and it is a bounce-back spot for Kansas City. Yeah, my lean in this game would be to Kansas City. Yeah, Charles, Tigers 8-3 against Kansas City. Yeah, but what's their record with Flaherty on the mound against Kansas City? I'm pretty sure it's not 8-3. Let me see, because I know they lost one of those games. The most recent one. What else did he do? Did he pitch against Kansas City otherwise this year? No, that was the only time. So Flaherty is 0-1 against Kansas City this year, and his numbers, again, are not good against them. The money seems like it is coming in on Detroit, but they're a public road favorite, too. They're down from -120 to -116 here. 74% of tickets, 95% of the cash coming in on them, so the cash seems to be on their side. I don't know, man. I mean, I have a slight lean to Kansas City, but it's possible the better way to play this might be an over. Kansas City up from 9-9, the total up from 9-9, juice to the over. 96% of tickets, only 92% of the cash on the over. But Flaherty, I mean, his bad matchup numbers, plus Kolek being so bad in AAA, the unfamiliarity might not help him out here. And he's been so bad pitching at home this year in pitcher-friendly parks. He might not do well here. So over might make sense here. And we do have some question marks in the bullpen just as far as the usage is concerned. Well, thank you. I'm not saying I'm definitely right. I think actually probably the over is the better way, although I do have a slight lean to Kansas City in that game too. Baltimore at San Francisco. San Francisco's on a roll right now. They've won 6 games in a row. This pathetic offense of theirs has actually scored double-digit runs 2 of the last 3 games. They beat Baltimore 15-8 yesterday, but Baltimore was having to travel across country to the Pacific Coast, so not exactly the easiest spot coming off that big series against the Red Sox. Baltimore's lost 5 games in a row, so we have 2 trains moving in opposite directions, but both of these teams are kind of out of it now, and I actually think that these trains will actually both collide and they'll both stop in this one because I do actually kind of lean to Baltimore in this one. Maybe it's a first 5 inning play, though, because San Francisco does have the way better bullpen, and they didn't use a whole lot of it over the last few days. So their bullpen's good, and it's in good shape. Baltimore's bullpen is not good, and it's not really in good shape either. So San Francisco does have a bullpen edge. San Francisco's offense is still so weak that I think Baltimore does have the better offense here. I mean, I could check that quickly, but Baltimore actually not even that bad. They're like a mid-tier offense OPS-wise. San Francisco's in the bottom 6. But San Francisco, well, they have decided on a pitcher today, so I'll talk about that in a second. Trevor Rogers is pitching for Baltimore, though, and he's been just inexplicably awesome. Like I've pointed out multiple times, he wasn't good when he was on Miami. He wasn't good in the minors this year, but he's been excellent for Baltimore. I don't really get it, but I've gone with him the last couple of times he's pitched, and it's worked out. 1.4 ERA, 0.83 WHIP, or the last couple of times that I've decided to make a play on a Baltimore game with him pitching, I guess I should say. But yeah, his numbers are great. He's a little bit worse on the road, but that's still a 1.89 ERA. Baltimore's won his last 4 starts. They've actually won something like 10 of his 13 starts on the season. They've won something like that. He's allowed 1 or fewer earned runs in every outing going all the way back into July, and he's allowed 2 or fewer going all the way back into early June, and he's only allowed more than 2 earned runs once. Hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs at all this entire season, although he hasn't pitched the entire season, but he's pitched more than half of it at this point, I think. 1.29 ERA this month with a 36-6 strikeout walk ratio. He's got at least 6 innings in every outing, allowing 1 earned run exactly in every outing. And Baltimore's won his last 4 starts. Some of them against good lineups, too. So Rogers is doing this against Cubs, Red Sox, Philly. And some of those on the road, all of those actually on the road. So he is pitching well. San Francisco is a step down offensively from those teams big time. And this is a pitcher-friendly park. His numbers are mediocre against San Francisco. They saw him, I guess, when he was on Miami. 41 at-bats, 13-4 strikeout walk ratio is pretty good, but a 268 batting average, 724 OPS, not horrible numbers, but mediocre. But he's so good this season. I do expect him to pitch well here, too. He's in good form. And San Francisco has listed Carson Seymour as their starter, so he's a relief pitcher. So they're going with a bullpen game here. He's got a 3.74 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. He's a hefty guy, too. 6'6", 255. Man, he's got a 3.38 home ERA, but I think you're only going to get probably 2 or 3 innings out of him. He's made a couple of 2-3 inning outings this year. He's been okay, but I mean, San Francisco lost all of his outings this month before his last outing, where he went 1 inning against the Cubs. So all the other games that he was in, they lost, although it might have been a situation where they were just putting him in games that were already out of hand for them to some extent, because he came in relief, I think, in all those outings. But this means it's basically a bullpen game for the Giants, although, yes, their bullpen is good and it is rested, so maybe that's not terrible for the Giants there. But I would lean to Baltimore in the first 5 innings in that one, although they're down from -123 to -113. But maybe that's my old school nature not liking the bullpen game. 83% of tickets, 92% of the cash coming in on San Fran. So the money is coming in on San Francisco a little bit, but they are public as well because they've been winning every game recently. The under might also be worth a look here because San Francisco, at least their bullpen is rested, so a bullpen game might not actually be that bad. Neither offense is that good, and Rogers has been so good. And under in a pitcher-friendly park like this does make sense to me. The total's at 8. 71% of tickets, only 63% of the cash on the over. So it seems like the money's coming in on the under. I don't disagree with that. Obviously, I agree with that. Cubs are at the Rockies. Rockies lost yesterday 11-7. High-scoring game. I thought it would not be as high-scoring as it was. Cubs have motivation here, obviously, because the Cubs are trying to make the playoffs. Make sure they make the playoffs. Colorado is out of it. But with the Cubs in your house, I mean, you're probably going to step up for a game against the Cubs regardless. Should have mentioned, by the way, Baltimore, San Francisco. They are both out of it, so take that into account. The Cubs have the better offense and the better bullpen over Colorado, but they used 5 relief pitchers yesterday. Or no, 4, excuse me. Colorado used 3, and actually used Senzatella out of the bullpen, so Colorado might have moved him out of the starting rotation. I still think you got to give the bullpen edge to the Cubs here. Starting pitching is interesting here. I mean, the Cubs have the more established starter, so you probably do give them the starting pitching edge with Javier Assad, man. Since he's been ousted from being the leader of Syria, he's now in the Cubs starting pitching rotation. He's got a 3.86 ERA and 1.29 whip. His whip is definitely too high. That's been the problem with Assad. I mean, he's had a decent ERA throughout his career, but so far, but his whip has always been too high. He walks too many guys, isn't really a strikeout guy. He does have a 4.5 road ERA, which isn't that good. And I actually looked up his stats at Coors Field. He's actually been pretty bad in Coors Field. He's pitched in Coors Field, I think 3 times over the last 3 seasons, and he hasn't really done well in any of those outings. He's only made 3 starts this year, and they did ramp him up in each. They didn't really ramp him up, but he did get to 6 innings the last time out. So that's a decent sign that he went deeper into the game last time out. He only allowed 1 earned run the last couple of outings. But they were against Anaheim, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, very bad offense. But we do know that Colorado is also a bad offense. But again, this is Coors Field. So I'm not quite sold on Assad pitching well in this one. Colorado has good numbers against him, actually. In 33 at-bats, they have a 394 average, 1,097 OPS. Goodman and Arcia both have home runs off him. And again, it's Coors Field, so Assad may not pitch well here. He's going up against McCade Brown for Colorado, who I believe made his major league debut last time out, and it did not go well. It was against Pittsburgh. So he got the easy draw there against Pittsburgh and did terribly anyway. Unlike my man Peyton Tolley, who did pretty well for the Red Sox yesterday, he just started wearing down a little bit when it got into the 5th inning, or 6th inning, excuse me. McCade Brown, he didn't do well in the start against Pittsburgh. 3 2/3 innings, 4 earned runs, allowed 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Wasn't a good outing for him. Don't expect him to do well here, even though obviously the Cubs haven't seen him before, but he's not pitching well. I mean, the Cubs, good offense, obviously. So I think an over may be the way to look in this game. I mean, for the Cubs, you're obviously paying too much of a price, down from -200 to -195, 85% of tickets, 79% of the cash on them. So the money coming in against the Cubs, at least at that price. Again, with a high price like that, it's basically just saying the price is too high, not necessarily that the Cubs are going to lose the game. Total drop from 11.5 to 11, and we don't really see the percentages on this thing yet, but I would probably lean to the over in that game. Even though I know yesterday's game was very high scoring as well. Arizona at the Dodgers. I'm actually surprised the Dodgers lost yesterday, lost their win streak, and they lost 3-0. So sometimes when you lose a win streak like that, it will hang you over into the next game, but maybe not for the Dodgers because they got shut out, man, and the Dodgers are still playing for something here. Arizona's going to show up too because it's a big divisional game against the Dodgers, even though Arizona is out of it. The Dodgers obviously trying to win their division, so they're going to show up too. The Dodgers, I thought they were in a good spot yesterday, especially because they didn't play the day before that. Very crazy that they wound up losing and getting shut out. The Dodgers getting shut out at home is a very unlikely scenario because they have the most runs scored at home in all of baseball. The Dodgers used 4 relief pitchers yesterday. Their bullpen's not good, but Arizona's is worse. Although Arizona's bullpen is more well-rested, and they actually had a pretty rested bullpen after Thursday, even though they played on Thursday. So Arizona's bullpen is more rested than the Dodgers. Neither bullpen is good, so that kind of does even out the bullpen scenario a little bit, but I think the Dodgers have a big starting pitching edge here. Eduardo Rodriguez is pitching for Arizona. Again, he hasn't been good since his Tommy John surgeries. He's getting up there in age a little bit. I don't know that he's ever really going to return to what he was. 5.67 ERA, 1.64 whip is just awful. He's been pretty much the same home and road. Home road splits, very insignificant. He's got a 5.81 ERA this month, 18-13 strikeout walk ratio. Very not good, even though his team won 4 games in a row of his. They were against Colorado, Cleveland, the A's. I mean, that was a difficult one at the A's. It's a tough place to pitch. But other than that, weak lineups. And then he had a bad start against a strong lineup against Milwaukee last time out. He's given up 4 or more on runs in 3 of his last 4 outings. So he's not actually in good form right now. Only had 1 strikeout in that last outing, too, although it was a shortened outing because he pitched really poorly. But he's obviously facing a really good Dodger lineup here, and the Dodgers have absolutely smacked him in 94 at-bats. So he has a lot of history against them. 22-9 strikeout walk ratio isn't too bad, but 436 batting average allowed him, 1,279 OPS is ridiculous. So his numbers against the Dodgers are terrible, and he's going up against Tyler Glasnow, who is one of the best pitchers in the Dodgers rotation. 3.36 ERA, 1.17 whip. Really good numbers. He's been really good at home, 2.32 ERA at home. Last time out, not a good start, though. Only went 4 innings, walked 4 guys, gave up 3 runs at San Diego, a pitcher-friendly park. So he's going to have to bounce back from that, but he still hasn't allowed more than 4 earned runs going all the way back into April, and he's allowed 3 or fewer in all but 1 start going all the way back through that period of time. And he's ramped up his pitching. He's going deeper into games now. He's got a 3.32 ERA this month, 26-11 strikeout walk ratio. So it is too many walks. The walks have been a little bit of an issue for him recently. Hasn't gone that deep into his recent starts, though, so that's kind of an issue as well. He's just not efficient with his pitches right now. He does have a high strikeout rate as well, which is expected. His numbers against the D-backs are good. They only have 5 hitters have ever seen him before, surprisingly. 23 at-bats, 6.2 strikeout walk ratio, 217 average allowed, and 584 OPS. So Glasnow does have the better numbers here. I would maybe be looking towards maybe Dodgers. You could go Dodgers over their team total. Maybe that's actually the best way to go after they got shut out yesterday. Even though Glasnow should have the upper hand in the starting pitching matchup, if you want to go with just Erod to get lit up in this game, the money's coming in the over as well. 89% of tickets, 96% of the cash on the over. It's up to 8.5 juice to the over. I think that the more likely scenario, you're probably going to get more of those runs from the Dodgers here. So going them over their team total against Erod plus the Arizona bullpen makes some sense to me. Dodgers, 93% of tickets, only 88% of the cash on them. Sitting at minus 210, minus 212. Too much of a price slay with the Dodgers. If you do like the Dodgers in the starting pitching matchup, you could go like a run line in the first 5 innings, but I still think the Dodger team total is the way to go. Texas at the A's to finish this off. Of course, we're looking at this very hitter-friendly stadium here as the A's playing a AAA ballpark. The A's lost yesterday 5-2 to start the series. Texas does have something to play for. Of course, they're still really fighting for the division and a playoff spot. The A's are out of it, although the A's have been playing a little bit looser recently. They're playing a bit better now that they know they're out of it. They will probably show up for a home divisional game here. Texas, obviously they have the way better bullpen, and they're very rested. They've only used 2 relievers over the last 2 days. The A's don't have as good a bullpen. They didn't play on Thursday either, though, so they've only used 3 relievers over that span. But Texas has the better bullpen. The A's have the better offense. Texas' offense is not very good. Starting pitching is a very interesting one with Merrill Kelly pitching for Texas. He's having a good season between Arizona and Texas. 3.2 ERA, 1.05 whip. Good pickup for Texas for the stretch run here, man. A little bit better on the road, too. 3.05 ERA on the road. He's used to pitching in a hitter-friendly park, at least, because he was pitching for Arizona. Since being acquired by Texas, which is all of his starts this month, he has a 3.1 ERA, 26-8 strikeout walk ratio. So he's basically just continued to pitch well. He's allowed more than 2 earned runs once against Philly, a good lineup. 4 earned runs allowed in that one. It still wasn't a good start, but he's been good otherwise, coming off a 7-inning shutout against Cleveland. And the A's only have 9 at-bats against him because he's been in the National League, so they're very unfamiliar with him. They have 3 hitters who've ever seen him before, and they're 0 for 9 with 5 strikeouts and no walks against him. So none of them even reach base off of Kelly. So he does have good matchup numbers there, and he's unfamiliar to them. But speaking of unfamiliar, Mason Barnett will be making his Major League debut for the A's here, and he's a guy that does throw hard. He throws mid to upper 90s, so he's got a good fastball, but I got some issues with him, and it looks like he's on the UN right now, right? He has an unknown position, man. His position is with the UN, so we should probably not like this guy. But I have some issues with Barnett, man, even though his scouting report looks pretty good. It's mostly like fastball slider, though. I guess that's kind of the mix that he mostly throws, a hard fastball and a slider. But major league hitters can hit that. But my main problem is his numbers in AAA this year are atrocious. His numbers in AAA, he has over a 6 ERA, and I believe his whip is over 2. So it's like, how can you trust this guy if he's been that bad in AAA? I don't really understand it. I mean, yeah, his scouting report looks good. There's a reason why the A's are calling him up. Give him some work, see what he can do out there. But he's also in a very hitter-friendly ballpark here too, although he is facing a weak lineup, so at least there's that. Again, all that being said, I mean, the under does still seem to kind of make sense in this game, even though it's a hitter-friendly ballpark. I would probably only go first 5 innings. It would be really just based on Barnett's ceiling, his potential, and the fact that he's unknown to Texas, and that Texas's offense isn't good, but his AAA numbers really, really scare me away. 70% of tickets on the under, 95% of the cash on the under. So the money is coming in on the under. It's flipped to 10.5 juice to the under. And the money's coming in on the A's, which is crazy. It seems like the professional money is sold on Mason Barnett. I mean, are they not looking at his AAA numbers? I don't know. But there's some reason now why the money's coming in that way. 54% of tickets on Texas, 65% of the cash on the A's. Texas down from minus 130 to minus 126 on the money line. Yeah, so the money is coming in on the A's there. I won't have my money on it. I won't recommend it as a play, but it's interesting to say the least. Let's go to my plays here, man. First one up is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays -0.5 run on the run line in the first 5 innings only, and that's only because I don't like the bullpen scenario here. Their bullpen got a little bit trashed yesterday, and they used 5 relief pitchers yesterday out of the 7 they have on the roster right now, so I'm worried about the Toronto bullpen in this game. Milwaukee used less of their bullpen yesterday. Their bullpen, somewhat untrustworthy as well. They're actually the worst bullpen on the season still. And Milwaukee lost McGill for a while to injury. He's their closer. But we're going to focus on just the starting pitching matchup here. And I do think Toronto's going to come out early in this game mad because they lost the last game. Both of these teams are going to show up because they're both fighting for playoff positioning, but the situation's more dire for Toronto. I think they only have a 3-game lead now in the AL East after losing yesterday. Yeah, so the Yankees are right behind them. The Red Sox are only 3.5 behind them. So Toronto does need to show up here. Quinn Priester, I know it's hard to go against this trend, man, where Milwaukee's won 15 games in a row where he's appeared. Most of them have been starts for him, and he was a follower in a couple of them. I know it's crazy, but Priester, even though his numbers are good on the season, 3.44 ERA, 1.26 whip is a little high. He's good, but I don't think he's as good as his ERA looks. His ERA this month is up to 4.29. I mean, it's 4.29 this month, and a 15-9 strikeout walk ratio is not a good sign. He's only gone 5 1/3 or less in his last 3 outings, even though they continue to win his outings. He had 5 walks in his most recent outing against the Cubs, so there's a lot of stuff that should worry you about the way Priester is pitching right now, and I think this might be where his streak comes to an end. But we don't even need that to be the case. We can have Milwaukee late-game heroics again, and it won't matter as long as Toronto's winning after the first 5, and this one will still get it. Priester's numbers against the Blue Jays, they only have 18 at-bats against him, but most of their lineup has faced him before, and they have a 333 average and 889 OPS off him with a Jimenez home run as well in the mix there. So they've been able to hit him decently. Again, he's not really in great form. We're going to trust Kevin Gausman here for the Blue Jays, who's the more established starter. He's having a pretty good season. 3.87 ERA, 1.07 whip, although he doesn't get a lot of run support because his win-loss record is below 500, despite pitching pretty well. He's a little bit worse at home, 4.09 ERA, which may be a little bit worrisome, which, by the way, Priester, I forgot to mention, Priester is actually a little bit better on the road, 3.18 ERA. So we are fading some slight splits there, but they're not crazy splits. We're looking at how well these pitchers have done recently. And even though Priester's been, his team's been winning all his starts, Toronto's been losing all of Gausman's starts, but Gausman's been pitching better than Priester. Gausman this month, 4.06 ERA isn't great, but he has way better command this month than Priester, 27-6 strikeout walk ratio. So Priester walked almost as many guys in his last outing as Gausman has all month. Gausman, in his last 4 starts, he's allowed 4 fewer earned runs in all of them. He's gone 6 or more innings in every start, going all the way back into late July, where he actually had 2 good starts at the end of July, too. So he is pitching pretty well. We're going to trust him, and his numbers against Milwaukee are good in 38 at-bats. It's not a huge sample, but 15-3 strikeout walk ratio, 184 batting average allowed, and 533 OPS. So Gausman, good career numbers against Milwaukee, even though they do have a good offense. Toronto's offense is pretty good as well. even though Milwaukee is a little bit better on the road. Vaughn does have a home run off him, but I'm not even actually sure which team we give the offensive edge, to be honest. Toronto's actually third in OPS, so you give them the offensive edge, even though Milwaukee is a little bit better on the road. Their offense is a little bit worse than that. So we are going with Toronto, first 5 innings, run line in that one. We will also go, this one looks really, really crazy, but we're going to go with the Atlanta Braves on the money line. Full game in this one, plus 125. I think we have the better bullpen with Atlanta here, man. Philly's bullpen is not very good. They're down here at 23rd in bullpen ERA. Atlanta, not that much better, but slightly better. But then we look at the bullpen usage yesterday. Philly used 4 relief pitchers yesterday, and Atlanta only used 1 or 2, I think. Yeah, 2. So and they didn't use any the day before that. So Atlanta has a much, much more rested bullpen, and they used 1 guy the day before that. So Atlanta was actually off one of those days where Philly was playing. So we got a more rested bullpen from Atlanta here. That's actually the better bullpen over Philadelphia. Yes, Philadelphia has the better offense. Philadelphia did win 2-1 yesterday, but Philadelphia, they're not on the verge of a sweep yet because I think the series will continue tomorrow, but they beat Atlanta 19-4 and then 2-1. I think Atlanta will show up to try to spoil the party for once, man. Philadelphia probably feeling pretty good about themselves right now. They got a 5-game lead here. Yes, they do need to continue winning to make sure they make the playoffs and whatever, and they want to win the division, but Atlanta's still going to show up with some fire here, man. And what we have in the starting pitching matchup, yes, it's a good starting pitching matchup, so when I looked at this, I was like, an under is probably going to make sense here. But because of the bullpen scenario, and because I think the starting pitching is going to be close and it's going to be a duel, I think it makes sense to grab the underdog here. We're going with Chris Sale for Atlanta, baby. He's coming back from injury. He was having a good season again before he got hurt. He was on his way to potentially being in the Cy Young conversation again. 2.52 ERA, 1.16 whip. He was pitching well. I know some guys are going to be worried about playing a guy that's returning from the injured list, but Chris Sale is a veteran, man, and as I continue to say, when a guy is a veteran like this and he's completely used to doing rehab stuff and coming back from injury and whatever, he's been doing it for his entire career, man, so he is so used to this. I think he's going to be pumped to just get back out there and pitch against a good team, so I think you're going to get a good start out of him, and he probably is going to be extra pumped because he gets to duel a really good pitcher. So I like it. I think Sale will be back in form, and I did look at his minor league numbers, and I think they were decent. I think he had like an ERA in the 2s, I think, and like a 1.2 whip in his rehab or whatever in AAA. So he was fine. So I'm expecting him to be ready to go here, man. He's a little bit worse on the road, 2.77 ERA. Still very good, obviously. And before he went down, he was just dominating. He was in complete form. Before he went down, he'd allowed 1 or 0 earned runs in 6 straight starts. Had allowed 1, 2, or 0 earned runs going all the way back into April before he went down in late June. So he was totally an ace. And his numbers against Philly, even though they have a good offense and they're familiar with him, he does well against them too in 118 at-bats. 48-6 strikeout walk ratio. Nice. Very nice ratio. 237 average allowed, 656 OPS. So Sale holds them down, man. He's a fire sale. We're going to be fading Christopher Sanchez here, though, man. I get it. It looks difficult to do that. I understand that the under does make sense, at least in the first 5 innings of this game, too, because Sanchez is having a really good season for Philly. 2.66 ERA, 1.13 whip, and now the burden is really on him now that Zach Wheeler is gone for the season, which is really going to hurt the Phillies' rotation. So maybe the pressure is going to mount on Sanchez, man, because this is the first season that he's actually had to be like his team's ace, because usually it is Wheeler. So I don't know if the pressure is going to mount on him a little bit. Yes, he is better at home, 2.38 ERA. He's been good this month, 3.13 ERA and 34-8 strikeout walk ratio. However, his last outing wasn't good against the Mets. He gave up 6 earned runs in 5 1/3, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. So he's had multiple walks in his last 2 outings. Does that mean that he's sliding out of form a little bit? I don't think I would necessarily say that because he's good enough that you'd think he would bounce back. But his numbers against Atlanta are actually not very good. In 75 career at-bats, 19-4 strikeout walk ratio is good, but they have a 320 average against him, 834 OPS. Olsen has 2 home runs off him, and Acuna has a home run off him, and he is back. So Acuna should be in the lineup tonight as well. Or today. Wait, this is a night game. I was like, is this an afternoon game? No, the only afternoon game I have is the Milwaukee-Toronto one. So I like the Braves here, man. And looking at the market read here with the Braves, 84% of tickets and cash on Philly, and they've dropped from -142 to -138. So it seems like the market read is on Atlanta here. The money coming in. The money's coming in on the under as well. It's on 7.5 juice to the under, 57% of tickets on the over, 82% of the cash on the under. I wouldn't disagree with it. But again, Sanchez's matchup numbers are bad against Atlanta, which leads me to want to actually grab Atlanta on the moneyline dog price instead. Plus, with the bullpen rest advantage there. If you go under, probably under first 5 innings, because I don't know if their Philly bullpen is really totally trustworthy there, or either bullpen necessarily, really. So I could see that, but you have to go under about 3.5 in the first 5, which is a little bit more difficult to do. By the way, I forgot to mention, Toronto looks like they are an anti-public home favorite as well in that game, so that's a good market indicator there, too, on that game. 79% of tickets, only 62% in the cash, and they're down to -139 there on the money line. So that's a good sign there for Toronto. We got to get through this, man. Next up, we're going to go under in the first 5 innings, under the 4.5, Cardinals, Reds. It's at -120 out there. I know it's a bit of a price to lay on this one, but I think the starting pitching should be good here. The money's coming in that way, it looks like, as the total did flip to 8.5 juice to the under, even though we have 53% of tickets and 57% of the cash on the over for the full game. And I do understand that we're looking at a hitter-friendly ballpark here. St. Louis does have the better bullpen here. Their bullpen rest is bad, though, which is why I want to exclude the bullpens, because they used almost all their relievers yesterday. Cincinnati's bullpen is very, very rested here. So the Cincinnati side also makes some sense in this game to me. Cincinnati, I mean, they've been playing some bad baseball, too, and they're still in the hunt, but they've fallen off, man. If they want to try to make a wild card, this is bad. They've lost 4 games in a row, including yesterday at home to St. Louis, but they were coming off a big series against the Dodgers. So Cincinnati does need to right the ship. It does make sense to look towards Cincinnati here as well, but I think the under first 5 makes more sense in this one. And St. Louis, they don't really have a whole lot to play for other than spoiling it for Cincinnati, but I mean, who's Cincinnati really for St. Louis? But the starting pitching is what I'm looking at. Cincinnati, by the way, they do have the better offense as well, so that's another advantage to Cincinnati in this game. Even though St. Louis has the better bullpen, the bullpen rest scenario kind of throws that out the window. But starting pitching, Michael McGreevy, 4.43 ERA, 1.19 whip for St. Louis. He is way better on the road, though, with a 3 ERA on the road. And he's been in better form this month with a 3.9 ERA and 21-4 strikeout walk ratio, allowing 4 or fewer earned runs in every outing. St. Louis has won 4 of his 5 outings. And he's gone 6 innings in every single one of them. So he's actually in better form right now. And the Reds have never faced McGreevy before. So I think there might be a spot where McGreevy will come out and pitch well enough to get us a low total here early in the game. So I like that aspect of it. And he's going up against Andrew Abbott for Cincinnati, who's been really good this season. 2.62 ERA. 1.1 whip, having an ace-like season, man. He's been even better at home, even though it's a hitter-friendly park. He's got a 2.01 ERA at home. Yes, he had a bit of a struggle last time out against Arizona, gave up 6 earned runs in 4 innings. It was on the road, though. And he still had 6 strikeouts, no walks. He hasn't walked anybody since his start on August 6th. So 3 straight starts with no walks at all. So he's still in good form, even though his 4.62 ERA looks bad this month. His other start, he gave up some runs at Wrigley Field. But those are good offenses, man. St. Louis is not as prolific of an offense as either of those. And he's back at home here. He has a 22-2 strikeout walk ratio this month still. So that's fine. And even though, yes, his innings are ramping up, he threw more innings than this last year, so he's still not really at the edge there yet. I mean, maybe after this start, you might be looking towards Abbott, maybe wearing down a little bit, but he hasn't reached that point quite yet, I don't think. And against St. Louis, he's pretty much dominated. Well, not dominated because his walk numbers aren't good, but 58 at-bats, 172 average allowed, 566 OPS, and a 12-8 strikeout walk ratio. So he's been good against St. Louis in his career, so we are going to go under in the first 5 in that one. Hopefully it gets there, even though we're paying more. Richmond is a plus 240 under. I'm not looking at any of those FCS teams really, man, except for South Dakota. Yeah, the Braves are going on a scalping mission. Who's Richmond even playing, man? I mean, I just don't even bother paying any attention to it, even though there might be some value there. My final play is going to be another first 5 under 4.5. You get a better price on this one, and it's Yankees, White Sox, and that's probably because the Yankees are the Yankees, and we know they can hit. So the Yankees obviously have a good offense, but the White Sox do not. And I think the starting pitching is going to get us to this under, man. We won't trust the bullpens, although the Yankees are a little bit more of a rested bullpen here. The White Sox, less rest. The White Sox bullpen is actually worse than the Yankees, but neither bullpen is that good, so we're just going to go first 5 innings here. We're going to look at the starting pitching matchup, but it's between two rookies who I think are under the radar. They're both from Massachusetts too. So Cam Schlittler, the trader, going for the Yankees here. 2.76 ERA, 1.3 WHIP on the season. I know his WHIP is a little bit high, but he's been good on the road. 2.16 ERA on the road, and this month he's starting to pitch better with a 1.63 ERA, 31-10 strikeout walk ratio, high strikeout rate. It's still too many walks, but I mean, I think he can get that under control a little bit. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 2 outings. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in all of his outings this entire month. For his entire career, which is just this year, he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every outing. He's getting better. The White Sox are going to be an easy draw for him, too. And the White Sox, not only are they a terrible offense, but they've never seen Schlittler before. So he's in good form. He should pitch well against this bad lineup. They're unfamiliar with him. So that should be a way to go. Shane Smith is pitching for the White Sox here. 3.87 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. His numbers are pretty good in his young career as well. Also a Massachusetts guy. I'll give him a pass for pitching for a Chicago team, though. He is not a trader. And he has better splits as well. He has a 3.31 ERA at home, so that's a good sign. And he had a good start to the season. He hit a bit of a lull, kind of around when he was about to pitch in the All-Star game. And then this month, he's actually been better again with a 2.63 ERA. Yes, his walk rate is too high, just like Schlittler. 24 strikeouts, 11 walks. He's got to get that walk number down, but he's allowed more than 2 earned runs only once this entire month, which is a 4-run outing against Atlanta. He might be wearing down a little bit because he is a rookie, but we only need him to get us through the first 5 innings, basically, in this one. So hopefully he can do that. The Yankees have never seen it before, except McMahon is 0 for 1 with a walk against him. So we have 2 completely unfamiliar starting pitchers here, too, that are both pretty solid rookies. So it looks like a first 5 under to me, man. Money coming in on the under. Total went down from 9 to 8.5, although it was never really a 9. It was 9 juiced to the under. Would have been maybe better. Well, that's for the full game, though. So I think the whole way you could get the 4.5 on the first 5 anyway. 78% of tickets on the over, 66% of the cash on the under. So we were going first 5 inning under in that one. Lehigh, I have no clue what's going on in that game, man. It sounds like a basketball game to me. I don't know what goes on in the FCS. So that's going to do it, man. Once again, all my plays today. College football, Texas plus the 3, even though I know you have to, you can't get the good number anymore on that. South Dakota plus 16, Clemson minus 3.5, or I think minus 4 you have to do now. And then tomorrow, Miami plus 3, Miami, Florida. Baseball, we got Toronto Blue Jays first 5 innings. Run line, minus a half run. Atlanta Braves, full game money line, plus 125. St. Louis and Cincinnati, under the total in the first 5 innings, under the 4.5 at a little bit of extra juice, though. And also under the 4.5 at a better price, Yankees, White Sox. So those are the best bets. I forgot to say the best bets, man. And I also have a new breakdown video, too. I was going to say that's the breakdown. So a new breakdown image there. So I got to remember to use my images, man. But before I get out of here, let's just double check the college football. If you want to see my analysis for those games, please go watch my video from last night. Texas, you can actually get it plus 1.5 right now. They do have the money still coming in on them, 70% of tickets, 76% of the cash. So that one is still looking decent for me, even though the public is also there. Iowa State's down to 15 now, although I still pretty much like it at anything higher than 14.5 or higher, the 2 touchdown threshold. It just looks too easy to take Iowa State, even though we do see some of the money coming in on them, 61% of tickets, 64% of the cash. I just think it's a terrible spot for Iowa State. One of the worst spots that exists this week, to be honest. And then we got Clemson. They're up to 4. The money has come in on them. So I know we're seemingly kind of on like a somewhat, we're seemingly on public sides and or going against a cash percentage in some of these. But I think it's just the way that it is, man. The money is coming in on Clemson. 61% of tickets, 66% of the cash coming in on them. And then we do have Miami is tomorrow, so I don't really need to belabor that, but they're an anti-public home underdog, which, I do like to jump on those, especially in spotlight games. 63% of tickets, only 53% of the cash on Notre Dame there. That's going to do it for me, man. Learn to Toad on Twitter, on Instagram, Bettor Off Dead. Like, subscribe to the channel, do all the things. Covered in Uke, my Uke channel on YouTube as well. You can check that out. Bettor Off Dead is also on the audio platforms, so give me a good review over there. And then patreon.com/learn-to-toad. I got to upkeep it, man. I feel like I have way too much stuff to do all the time, but I got to get the Uke stuff. The stuff, it's easy to just post it on Twitter, but the stuff, I got to get all that stuff on those other channels and whatever. So got to do that. Got to get my college football picks in and my pick'em pools as well. So I got to get that done. Have a good day. Have a great day, actually, to all of you. Peace out. I almost flipped everybody off, but that was not a middle finger. But peace out, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out this morning. Let's get some wins today, and peace.